I noticed a few interesting things with this movie. For one, these animators are making sure that these animals are very curvy and very voluptuous. Judy Hopps and Shakira's pop star Gazelle are showing off what they got every chance they get. I couldn't believe it, Chad, what I was seeing in this film. From beginning to end, I was like, oh my God. And the one thing that really surprised me, there is a reference to something infamous in regard to Judy and Nick that is a fan creation. If you know what I'm talking about, yes, it's that thing, chat. It's that thing. I was so surprised by that alone. I couldn't believe it, but they handled it with a lot of grace and a lot of cleverness. I thought it was very, very funny. And boy, do they get freaky in this movie, chat. No question about it. All right, my friends. All right, come on, stop it. Get your heads out of the gutter, all right? Let's go ahead and review Zootopia 2. But before I do that, I kind of want to share my thoughts on the original Zootopia, which of course came out in 2016. And that was a really good year for animation, chat. Because not only did you have the original Zootopia film, which was amazing, but you also had Moana, the original Moana, which was also great. And you had Laika's Kubo and the Two Strings, which is a wonderful stop-motion animated film. I think, honestly, like that year, those three movies, those might have been like my top three films. I think what literally was Zootopia was my number one, followed by Moana, and then Kubo and the Two Strings. Like all three of those movies, I thought were wonderful. They were all nominated for Best Animated Feature Film, and they were so great. But the original Zootopia, it really is a wonderful movie. It succeeded because it combined just a clever buddy cop story, which we all love, obviously, right? So many great buddy cop stories over the years, over the decades. But also with like a really rich world building and a meaningful social commentary that appealed both to kids and adults like myself, like us. You know, its characters, especially, you know, Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde, were written with depth, flaws, and showed growth throughout the movie, making their partnership feel like genuinely earned, right? Throughout the film's running time. And the film just also used its animal society, I think, overall, as just a sharp, accessible metaphor for things like prejudice, while still delivering on the humor, the originality, and just providing us a stunning animation, just beautiful animated segments. And ultimately, it stood out because it entertained me and us while saying something very important, without ever feeling like a lecture, without ever talking down to us. It was just a wonderful animated film. Now, when it comes to Zootopia 2, which is directed by Jared Bush and Byron Howard, it picks up with the city of Zootopia once more, essentially thrust into chaos just several weeks after the events of the first film. You know, police officers, Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde, are now partners in the ZPD, you know, and they find their relationship being strained and are enrolled in a Partners in Crisis program, essentially, just as like a mysterious new visitor, a snake named Gary, the Snake, arrives in town and begins turning things upside down within the city of Zootopia. And their investigation into Gary's presence just draws them into unknown districts of Zootopia, a stolen heirloom belonging to the city's founding family, and just a web of secrets revealing that reptiles, who were not in the original film, funny enough, have been unfairly excluded from the city's history and the city's founding. Now, nearly a decade after the original film just broke box office records and won an Oscar for Best Animated Feature, which was a very competitive year, I would say. You know, Zootopia 2, it just returns to a world of predators and prey, witty social commentary, and just one of Disney's most lovable odd couples in the last decade. And the result is a sequel, to me, that feels both familiar and just really boldly ambitious. Visually richer, emotionally deep, and still brimming with a lot of clever humor and inspired world building. A lot of great world building throughout this entire film. But at the heart of the film, to me, is Judy and Nick and their ever-evolving relationship. You know, if the first film was essentially about trust, this one is about what comes afterwards, right? How well people actually live by the ideals that they claim to believe in. You know, that makes Judy Hopps and I think Nick Wilde's journey more compelling than ever, like in this movie. And Ginnifer Goodwin, she once again just brings Judy's relentless optimism to life with a lot of warmth and vulnerability, while Jason Bateman, you know, as he typically does in a lot of things that he's, you know, worked in, he effortlessly just infuses like Nick with that classic sly sarcasm and a surprising amount of emotional maturity that I really enjoyed seeing. You know, their chemistry in the film just hasn't faded at all. In fact, I think the sequel just digs further into their partnership, into their relationship, you know, allowing conflicts and doubt and their subsequent choices to shape them. You know, their characters, rather than just simply reaffirm who they already are, which I think is really cool. And the film, I think, also benefits a lot from just like a new supporting cast, a lively supporting cast, some familiar faces, of course, but a lot of new people who bring just an expanded sense of scale to the city without ever really overshadowing its leads, who are very much at the heart of the film. And the newcomers, I think they serve a purpose rather than just functioning as gimmicks or as comic filler. And they just add new shades, I think, to Zootopia's political and also just social fabric. Like Ki-Hu Kwan plays Gary DeSnake, who is essentially this pit viper who is, initially pursued by Judy and Nick while trying to help his family. We learn more about him throughout the movie. And plus, it's Ki-Hu Kwan, who has had such a wonderful career renaissance in these last, several years, thanks to Everything Everywhere All at Once. Such a wonderful award, won an Academy Award here. And his voice acting, I think, is great. He's a very charming character, a very lovable character, as we learn more about him and just the struggle of reptiles and how they were essentially ostracized by certain elements of Zootopian society. He's great, and just the animation for him is beautiful. Like just how he moves is just so unique to all the other creatures like in the movie. But his personality is very warm. It's very charming. He's adorable throughout the film. He has great interactions with a number of characters, but especially Judy and Nick. He's just a great new addition. And then you have Fortune Feimster? You let me know if I'm saying her name incorrectly, Chad. Fortune Feimster. I'm going to call her that. And she plays a character named Nibbles Maplestick. And she's like this beaver podcaster and conspiracy theorist who lives in this new biome that's explored in Zootopia called Marsh Market. And she befriends and encounters Judy and Nick and informs them about, certain aspects of Zootopia that's kind of been ignored for all these years. And she's very funny. She has a number of great scenes, wonderful chemistry with both of them, especially with Nick, I would say. She has a number of great sequences that I thought were really, really great. And she kind of becomes, much like Gary DeSnake, kind of becomes like a partner to them, like on this case. One of the big new standouts in this movie. And then like one of the other last standouts, I would say, in terms of like the secondary cast, because there are also a lot of other great tertiary characters. Danny Trejo is in the film. He plays a lizard. Hilarious. He has a number of great gags in the film. But the last secondary character that I really enjoyed in the film was Andy Samberg, who plays Paubert Linksley. And he's this lynx who is like super awkward and is the youngest of this very affluent, powerful family in Zootopia that has a lot of secrets. And he's connected to Ki-Hu Kwan's Gary DeSnake character. And at first I thought, like, is that Jack Quaid? Because I'm a big Jack Quaid fan, Chan, in case you guys don't know. He's in one of the best movies this year, Companion, probably my second favorite film. But I was thinking, like, is that Jack Quaid? Is he playing another character? And it's like, no, it was Andy Samberg. I always get them confused sometimes when they do the voice work overall. But I really liked him in the film. He has a number of great comedic moments. They reference Zootopia often. They do a lot of references to other movies, within the films themselves. And they do one in the third act that involves him and it's a movie that I absolutely love, that I thought was perfect. And And it's so funny because I watched this movie in a full theater with both like adults and children, and all the adults, including myself, were like laughing. All the kids were like, "What the hell was that?" Because they haven't seen this movie, which is very, very adult and also very, very violent. But I like that whole segment with him. I thought he was a great character. All the character work in the movie is wonderful, but especially when it comes to Judy and Nick, like the relationship and how it changes and evolves throughout the film is really interesting to see, and also hints at things to come, I would imagine. But more on that in just a bit. Visually, though, Zootopia, it's stunning. Much like the first film, it's absolutely gorgeous. Like, Disney Animation's team has clearly pushed forward from the original 2016 film, which was already so incredibly impressive, just offering more elaborate environments, the new biomes, especially like Marsh Market, and just more animal species that just make the city feel truly alive. We get everything from seals to dolphins to walruses, all of that, which are all like visually certainly entertaining and really unique, but also very funny as well, what they do with them. Just some great stuff, which I don't want to spoil for you guys. Want those experience for yourselves, of course. And just every background, it just feels like, a punchline waiting to be found. Like, you get like a funny billboard, a brand name, a character design. It's just rewarding us as very attentive viewers with inventive visual jokes. And the film's action sequences across the board are incredibly dynamic, especially dynamic. Just creating just these creative blending the various animal size differences, having a lot of fun with that. Different like animal behaviors, the species behaviors, of course, and just that fast-paced direction to so many of the set pieces. We get like several huge chase sequences that are both ridiculous, absurd, but also like really, really thrilling and just fun to watch. And there's just a sense that, this isn't a world that's just being revisited. It's being pushed outward, revealing, new corners that we didn't know we want to be explored, especially with the stuff with the reptiles, I think is great in their biomes. When it comes to music, like Michael Giacchino's score, again, it's Michael Giacchino, guys. The guy, I don't think he's made a bad score in his life. He's incredible. He's one of the best composers out there. He just returns with such a playful energy, bouncing between different, genres the same way that when the narrative shifts between being a comedy and a mystery or a drama or a thriller, right? The music just leans in the film's emotional beats without overpowering them. And just the original songs, they're fittingly upbeat, but they're also really meaningful. And it just captures the hopeful spirit of Zootopia while also feeling like a fresh addition overall to the franchise. And really following the high bar, set by the first film, the script, again, is great. It confronts the social issues through metaphor, right? Never preaching, always being very entertaining. The mystery at the film's center doesn't merely provide just, plot mechanics or whatever. It forces characters to confront how prejudice and identity and systems of power evolve over time, and how prejudice can become, in a society that's being manipulated, like the truth, even though it's not the truth, which I really liked. And I think the writing balances these heavier themes with a lot of frequent humor and clever wordplay, and certainly a ton of visual gags that I think will entertain children, keep children laughing, but also us as adults entertained as well, and also laughing too. If I have any criticism, if there's any drawback, it's that the film, I think, occasionally tries to do too much at once. Maybe too many big ideas, too many worlds, maybe too many faces. Some arcs inevitably receive like maybe less attention than others, right? But even when crowded, I think the storytelling, it never feels bad. It's never like careless. Again, I think the movie is very smart, where it always goes back to the heart of the movie, which the heart of this movie is with Judy and Nick, and they keep everything grounded. And, Zootopia 2, it's not just a redo of its predecessor. It's a smart, I think, heartfelt continuation that respects its characters and what they're going through. Again, particularly Judy and Nick, and expands its universe with a lot of wit, and certainly a lot of visual artistry. It's a gorgeous movie. And this is the film that I want to watch again just to spot all the different details. I mean, it's a smorgasbord of just color and just unique designs. The animators must have had so much fun working on this film for however many years they worked on it, but for a very long time. Animation takes a long time to make. It's, at this point, it's kind of rare for Disney to produce an animated sequel that feels this thoughtful and this alive, really. Especially after giving us weak afterthoughts like Frozen 2 or Moana 2 most recently. And rare still for one to deepen its themes rather than dilute them, Again, I just think, with these memorable performances, it's beautiful and lush animation. Great score, wonderful spirited score with Michael Giacchino, and writing that I think just knows how to balance sincerity with satire. The film, it earns its place as one of the studio's strongest animated sequels in quite some time. Certainly in the last couple decades, honestly. And also, it's the perfect family film for the holiday season, for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. Also, I noticed a few interesting things with this movie. For one, these animators are making sure that these animals are very curvy and very voluptuous. Judy Hopps and Shakira's pop star Gazelle are showing off what they got every chance they get. I couldn't believe it, Chad, what I was seeing in this film. From beginning to end, I was like, oh my God. And the one thing that really surprised me, there is a reference to something infamous in regard to Judy and Nick that is a fan creation. If you know what I'm talking about, yes, it's that thing, chat. It's that thing. I was so surprised by that alone. I couldn't believe it, but they handled it with a lot of grace and a lot of cleverness. I thought it was very, very funny. And lastly, there is an end credit stinger that does two things. The first is where we're going with Judy and Nick's relationship. It's very obvious what they're doing, and I think it's going to make a lot of people happy. And it's also just the natural thing. It's how this relationship evolves, where we see him in the first film, here in the second, and the third film, it's like, all right, you've earned that now. Go ahead and do it. Which I think is great. And I do want to see that. It's like, you convinced me. I was like, all right, movie, okay, you got me. Go ahead and do it. And also, the next type of animals we're going to see and explore. Because when I watched the first Zootopia, I was like, I thought reptiles were in there. There weren't any reptiles. I knew that. And then, they did reptiles in the second one. They play a big role in this movie, obviously. And then there's another animal type that's not present in the first or second film. And you can guess what that probably is. I'm not going to say what it is, because you might not realize it until you watch the second movie. It's like, oh, okay, that's going to be clever. And honestly, and that material, both of those things, it's going to be very interesting to see. Probably even more so than this movie. And I think they have a very good shot, Disney that is, of giving us an incredible animated trilogy of films that could even rival or at least stand side by side next to something like the Toy Story trilogy. And to me, that really excites me. But we'll see. I think they are fully capable of pulling it off, especially after seeing this movie and how good it is. And what they hint at with those two big things, I'm like, you got a lot of material to play with. And I think that's going to be really fun to watch and see. And just how Nick and Judy's relationship is clearly going to advance now. And also the types of animals that they're going to have to interact with in that third and possibly final film. But overall, chat, Zootopia 2, it's a wonderful sequel. It's a great movie to watch during the holidays. It's just a smorgasbord of gorgeous animation and humor and just warm fuzzy. It gives you the warm fuzzy feelings, chat. Warm fuzzy feelings. Watch this movie. I want to watch it again, to be perfectly honest. People are going to ask, Chris, what do you like better? The first one or the second one? Which one is better? And this is no, negativity on the second one, but I feel like maybe the first one sludges out just because it was so just like, wow, this is incredible. It felt so fresh and new. But the second one still does a lot right and a lot like very, very well. And I like the dramatic elements quite a bit. So maybe I still like the first one a little bit better, but this is a very good sequel. It's an excellent sequel. It's one of the best anime movies this year. Honestly, like if you'd ask me like what are my 3 favorite anime movies this year, it's this one. It's the Looney Tunes movie, the Day the Earth Blew Up, and K-pop Demon Hunters. Like those are the 3. Those 3 I think are great. And it's certainly the best Disney sequel that I've seen in quite some time. There's no question about that. But yeah, chat, I think it's great. But what about you guys? I'm curious. Did you like it as much as I did? Were you more mixed on the film, or did you downright hate it? You're like, all this furry stuff and Judy and Nick and everything. It's like, it's too much. Let me know.
5 minutes later.
I know, the movie 2016. This movie's almost it's almost 10 years. Probably is 10 years later. We think about like the production and everything. It's crazy. I'm glad it doesn't have any knowing light. Your second, no. I'll tell you what, Osnick. I thought at first there was like the Beaver character, played by Fortune Feimster, Nibbles. I thought she was gonna annoy me, but she didn't. She there's a point where she really won me over. I'm like, all right, she's pretty funny. I was like, okay, pretty good. Like none of the new characters were annoying to me. Let's see. Oh yeah, I love this movie. For one thing, it doesn't feel like they just Frankenstein to show. That is true, which is what Moana 2 was. This might be the best Disney animated sequel in my opinion. I mean, like I have to look at everything again, but I think you're probably right, Tommy. Like I'm trying to think of all the Disney animated sequels, and I'm not like if you throw Pixar in there, then that changes. But like taking out Pixar and just Disney Animation Studio, it might be. Charles Disney Force in there, just Disney. Give me a finally good Disney. It really is. So this is the best Disney theatrical animated sequel since Rescuers Down Under. I would say so. If I was gonna pair it, I like Rescuers Down Under. I haven't seen in a long time, but yes, I think this is better. Hamanoptera. Good to see you. Welcome. Yeah. Really well then. End credit stinger. That like there is an end credit stinger, and that stinger it's obvious where they're going. Like, and if they end up not going in the direction that they're clearly hinting at, they'll be like, well, why the fuck did you put that in there? It's very obvious where they're going out for both things. Does he eat her out? No. Well, maybe he wants to. I'm seeing it tomorrow morning. I'm intrigued. I think you'll like it, Bishop. Frozen 3 or 4, let's see what you got. I know, man. Frozen 2. I don't like Frozen 2. I really don't. And listen, I'm not one of those guys that the first Frozen sucks. I'm not that guy. I like the first Frozen a lot. I think it's a great animated movie. I like the music in there. I like the Elsa character. I mean, it's like, let it go, let it go. Like all that. It's wonderful. But 2, man, I was like, that was a film where I'm like, you really don't have anything, do you? This didn't really warrant a sequel. The animators know what they're doing. Wake up, your furries. They fucking do, man. They know what they're doing. Amphibians, fishes, invertebrates. You'll see. I'm not going to say what this. Happy Turkey Eve, everyone. Happy Turkey Eve, Patrice. Good to see you. My guess is birds. Lack of birds in Zootopia. Maybe. Hope to see you in the near future after I see Wicked 2 first. Wicked for good. Let me know. Aces Blu-ray for me. I mean, it's a movie worth owning on Blu-ray. Like the first and second film, in my opinion. Pixar take notes. Yeah. When was the last really good Pixar movie? That's a good fucking question. I liked Turning Red was really good. I like Turning Red. I'm trying to remember. Logan says, all right, sounds right. It's good. It's crazy that when Pixar puts out 2 films in 1 year, one is great and the other is lackluster. Yeah, it's kind of been their thing. When Disney does it, they're both banners. Yeah. Frozen 2 is really weak. Oh, I agree. Still haven't seen Frozen. The first one was really good. Frozen 2 had a bunch of ideas, but they didn't really develop them very well. No. Nick fighting millions of years of animal instinct telling him to eat that rabbit ass. I mean. The only thing Frozen 2 has going for a sleigh better than 1. I mean, yeah, woof. Fuck. That's a good. Yeah, I agree. I think You know what? I never even thought of it, but I mean, even though I mentioned those two in my review, and I compared them unfavorably to Zootopia 2, which is Zootopia 2 is infinitely better than those two movies. Like there's just no question. There's no question about that. But which one of those two is better? Frozen 2 or Moana? Honestly, I haven't seen Frozen 2 since it came out. It's been a few years, but I think I might have to go with Frozen 2, man. I really do. Like Moana 2, man, there's a lot about the movie I really did not like. I like one song in that film, and everything else, I'm like, I don't really fucking care. Where I was actively annoyed. Wanja, evening to you. Coco or Inside Out 2, maybe. Ooh. Coco is great. Inside Out 2 also was very good. That's a good man. Which one do I like more? Ooh, that's a good question. Man, I think I'd have to go with Coco. But that is not dismissing how great Inside Out 2 is. Inside Out 2 is a very good sequel. It's very, very good. And I love how they used anxiety. I thought that was like, wow, you fucking nailed it. A lot to appreciate about that. But yeah, I think I go with Coco. You know, it's a Sophie's choice. It's a difficult Sophie's choice, chat. Casey, you can say, hey, Chris, can't stay for long, but I wanted to say happy Turkey Eve to you as well, Casey. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Thank you. My dumbass walked out before the stinger. They do the whole, like, it's at the very, very end. It is at the very, very end. They do, like, a whole animated credit sequence with Shakira's gazelle. And they made her thicker in the new movie. I don't care what anyone says. Like all she's doing in that movie is shaking her ass. I was like, my God. Oh, yeah, Wreck-It Ralph, too. I didn't care for that either. I was surprised by how much I liked the first Wreck-It Ralph. I really liked that film. But, yeah, Wreck-It Ralph, too. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Frozen 2 was at least made as a movie and was a TV show. That's true. Hastily made a movie. That's true. Is a sloth in it? I'm not going to say. You have to watch for yourself. I don't want to reveal too much. Coco's really good. I watched her lately and it still gives me the tear. Oh, 100%. Like, it's so funny. Because I think, did we watch that for like a watch party one year? I think we did it for like a watch party. I'm trying to remember. I think we did. But when I first saw that film, when I saw the trailer for the movie and they had the old grandma who is Coco, and I'm thinking like, oh, that old woman, she's going to fucking die or whatever. They're going to try to make me cry when she goes. And God damn it, chat, when she was about to go in that film, I was like, they're making me cry. Remember me. I was like, shit, they got me. Was American Tail a Disney movie? No, that was oh God, it was Steven Spielberg. He produced it. It was oh shit, I should know this. Oh my God. Don Bluth, thank you. I can't believe Don Bluth. Yes, Don Bluth. He did it. And Universal Pictures, that's right. Did Spielberg have something to do with that? I thought he produced some of Don Bluth's stuff. I could be wrong. No, he did. He did actually. He did produce a number of those movies. I don't know what point he stopped. Anyway, but yeah, that was Don Bluth. He did a wonderful job. But yeah, Chad, Zootopia 2, I already had a lot of confidence in the sequel. Like, the trailers, I was like, this is great. This is really good. I'm liking what I'm seeing. It looks gorgeous. But it's, yeah, I think it's worth seeing in the theater. I think you guys would like it a lot. It makes me excited for a third one. And I think they have a chance to have the third one be even better than this one. I really do. Based on what they promised in the end of the movie. The stinger, I'm like, if you do this, which I think they have to now, if they don't, it'll be a huge mistake. Then you could have something that is super emotional, that will just put a wonderful bow on this entire trilogy. It'll be like, look at that. You fucking nailed it. And it could also be like that truly great animated trilogy. I'm thinking, like, how many great animated trilogies have we gotten over the years? Toy Story is the obvious one that immediately comes to mind. It's perfect. But I'm trying to think of anything else. Some people say How to Train Your Dragon. I'm not on that train. Can't do Shrek the Third. God, I hope they don't pull a Shrek. Man, if they do that. Kung Fu Panda. Compared to the fourth one, the third one's a fucking masterpiece. Madagascar, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like this, I think Zootopia, they're on another level, over the edge. Let's do it. Let's get over the hedge, Ben. You know, I think if they manage to land the third one, then I think it could potentially rival the Toy Story trilogy, or at least be the second best. It could be the second best one, easily. I'll tell you right now, I think Zootopia 2 is much better than How to Train Your Dragon 2. I really do.